Well, good afternoon, ladies. I'm so glad you have been able to join me. And for those of you that will be watching the recording, I'm glad to have you here. And it's December. Everybody's busy. Everyone is getting ready for the many holiday parties, uh, the family gatherings that are sometimes for many families numerous. And of course, if you have children and you have grandchildren, your time is really not your own, to say the least. And you're going here and you're going there, and you just are exhausted by the time the day after New Year's is here. So what I decided to do today was to inspire you to look at taking some time next year for yourself, especially during the month of December. Whether you not necessarily go to Disney because that's so busy, but this past week, November 27th, I left on a 5-day, 5-night, 6-day trip that my children had given to me for my 70th birthday in October. Yes, folks, I'm 70 years old. So,
I feel your pain, Debbie.
and it was very much a shock for me because I had mentioned back in the beginning of the year or last year that, oh, I would really love to go to Branson because of what was involved in the trip where we were going to go and things. And by the way, this trip was presented by Diamond Tour, handled by Sally Sutter, who is also on the call today. So I put together a little slide presentation. I hope it works, and it should, because it did a minute ago, or did before. And let's see, here we see if I got it. Oh dear. Hang on. I think I'm going to have to see if I have it. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try it again. Stop sharing. Oh, I know I can do it this way. I hope it's coming. I hope. Here we go. Now, can everybody, Sally, can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay. I'm just not sure how to get rid of the sidebar. Oh, well. Well, we left on a Monday morning, and as you can see, I have included here a picture of the Ark that is in St. Louis. I understand this is something that you can go in and ride to the top and look out the windows. But for me, no. I'm better to stay on the ground. Sally, can you see this all right so far?
Yeah, I can. I'm glad you got a picture of that. Pretty
Good.
impressive.
Because it actually is a very amazing place to be or to go. That was Monday, and Tuesday we stayed overnight in what town was that?
Effingham, Illinois.
Okay. So the next morning we got up and we finished our trip, and we arrived at what is called the we went to the Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, anyways, we arrived into Branson and we had to go for, we went to dinner. And to dinner that night, we went to a place called McFarland's. Now, this place was a very unique building. It had several little gift shops, but it also had an IMAX theater, which it is a love. Some people just absolutely love IMAX theater. But here we had, they provided a dinner for us. And unfortunately, I started eating before I finished, took a picture. But I love the fact that they were very unique dishes, almost like you were at a campfire using those blue metal dishes and those coffee cups. And they provided a great mashed potatoes, green beans. You could have fish. And I think there was another one, but then we also were served our apple crisp before dinner. And in the center of the mall, there was this very large, very beautiful Christmas tree that played music all the time. And then behind that was the IMAX theater. Then also in the mall, as you can see, the different little shops, they also had this very beautiful, I was impressed with this car. This was well taken care of. But the thing I want you to see is there is so much to see. And if you don't go anywhere, you just miss so much. And then shortly after we were there, we went to Clay Theater. Now, Clay Theater has different shows and during the week, and they, for the most part, they play several nights during the week, but for months on end. And we happened to come here when it was that night we were able to see the Haygood family. And this is actually it's a 6-brother, and they only have one sister. And actually, Sally, wasn't it like 7 brothers, if I'm correct?
Actually 8. They had 2 more.
They had 2. That's right, 8 brothers.
2 of them aren't part of the show.
Right. The Haygoods, as you can see in this picture, they are Branson's most popular show, and they are there. They've been there for 31 years, which is amazing to me. Their show was very illuminating. I mean, the lighting, the color, the different theatrics where different songs, they had flaming torches that went off. This one song that they were singing, one of the brothers actually flew down playing a guitar upside down, going down the string from the ceiling down to the stage, which was, I mean, he did this like 3 times during the show with different songs. Here's another photo of the brothers. And then this one here, this was one of the songs, and on the screen in the back, you can see where the story behind this was the mother wanted to teach them to be able to tap. And of course, with, all these kids, they could not afford tapping shoes. So they went through a video showing how they made what they used as tapping or shoes for tapping. And as you can see, I mean, they were unbelievable. And their boots, they all have their boots on, and they have these platforms where they were all tapping to this particular song. And a couple of brothers actually hung from this area somewhere that hung upside down and were tapping her. Was that for a different song? I don't know. It was, this whole show was amazing. And Sally, do you have something you'd like to add about this show?
No, it was amazing.
We went on to the next one here, where I actually took it as a video. I hope it plays. Oh.
There's no sound, Debbie.
There isn't?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I hear it.
No.
Can you hear it now?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that is so sad because it's so beautiful.
Nope.
No sound?
No sound.
Oh. Well, okay, well, I'm sorry that I can't play the sound. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And the next, they one of their particular songs that they sang on the screen behind them. Sally, do you remember what this song was?
No.
Okay, I don't either. But anyways, what I'm showing you here is in this tree, it actually, it grew. I mean, it was the most impressive um it was just beautiful. Viewing the moon with this tree growing in with this, along with this song.
Hmm.
Okay. Anyways, the next day we got up, we had breakfast, got on the bus, and we went to Christmas Wonderland, where we actually saw the Irish tenors and the Celtic ladies. And here's a picture of the three ladies and then the four tenors. Their whole song, or their whole program was, based on their songs from Scotland to Ireland, and showing their singing about their culture. And I've never heard the tenors before, but the Celtic women I'm very familiar with. But unfortunately, the part of the Celtic ladies, these are not the ones that actually play the violin, because they didn't do it during the show, and I so wanted to see that. But after the show, because you're not allowed to take any pictures, so this was the inside, where you would walk into before you would go into the main auditorium. And as you can see, the decorations are very, very elaborate. They're breathtaking. And like I started to say, this particular show, you weren't allowed to take any pictures or videos like I did through the Haygood family. But afterwards, of course, keep in mind, the one show, I think it was the Haygoods, there were 22 buses that actually had to unload to go in to see them.
It was
So,
pretty much like that everywhere we went. There were 22 buses, motor coach buses.
And wasn't it, you could always tell the buses because they would follow. We all went on the same kind of schedule.
Kind of. They broke us up sometimes. So, but the Haygoods was, you're right, Debbie, that's took a long time to get in
and out.
and out. Yep.
This is one of the tenors, and this is what I liked about the fact that after some of the shows that we went to, some of the performers would come on the bus and just talk to us for a brief time. And this kind of helped because, you know, like we said, we were a lot of buses. So, and I appreciated it because, well, it gave me a chance to get a better picture of them. But when their show was over, they came out in the lobby where, you know, we were actually able to take many pictures of them, and I didn't include them with this, but they were collecting donations for Sally. Do you remember?
No,
Okay.
you don't. But all
But
the
they were
theaters, yeah, they were taking donations for, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
it's okay. But and the one thing they're very personable. They have no problem having their pictures taken. I mean, they're there for us and they enjoy it. You can tell. After we went there, we went to where did we go for lunch that day? We went to the Grand Village shops where we had, you know, again, we had shopping from all these different shops. I took a picture of one of this walkway, and they have a restaurant there called Mel's Diner, which many of us could not get into because the wait is so popular. And the one thing that they do is, I understand, is they sing to the customers, and it's like Mel's Diner from TV shows, right, Sally?
Well, I didn't go, so
I didn't either. Well, that night, after having dinner, we went to see Esther. And this this play is unbelievable. This is a Sight and Sound Theater. There's one in Branson, and there's also one in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I can honestly say now that I've been to both. And with this, when you go inside, I took pictures of the scenery. Now, again, we're not allowed to take pictures during the performance, but at halftime, they leave the curtains up so everyone can take pictures of the scenery. And what has impressed me with this is the fact that this particular building here actually during the performance opens up, and you have different rooms in there. This here is the main castle. Palace. Yeah, not castle, palace. And on the floor here, there's a section that actually rises up. This comes out further, and the doors open, and actually these particular areas open. And then this one here, now I'm not sure, this should play, but what I did was I took a video of the actual stage of this, so you could get an idea of how big it is. And it's all very interactive. Sorry for the jitteriness, but I wanted everyone to experience the feeling of sitting in this theater and the exquisite scenery, that what they put into this. And during the performance, they actually have live animals such as camels and horses, even mules or goats. I was here's a still shot, and Sally, is there anything you want to say about Esther?
I was sitting on the aisle, very close, because the horses and the camels come down the aisle periodically. They warn you of that. And I was sitting right on the aisle, right where the ramps come up and down to allow the animals to get off the stage or get on the stage. So that was interesting, but it's very hard to describe Esther.
It is. It's one of those where you got to go see it to believe it.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the animals. This area that I'm pointing to here and here is the area where the ramps come down from the stage, so that the animals and the people that are going to go down the aisle or come up the aisle from the back of the theater enter here. And that's why they warn everyone to, during the performance, be aware of the ramps. If they're up, fine, you can get up and do your break or whatever you need to do. But if these ramps are down, don't go in the aisles, or you're going to get run over by a horse or something. And one other thing, Esther's program, they also do at the Sight and Sound, they do Noah, Daniel, Moses, and Joseph.
David.
And David. And from what I understand is that in looking at the schedule, Esther will be at Branson all next year. And if I'm not mistaken, Daniel will be the one that's in Lancaster, and Lancaster, PA. And just a little
David is
side
the one we'll be seeing next year
yeah.
in Lancaster.
I'm sorry, what?
David is the one we'll be seeing next year.
Oh.
In Lancaster, PA.
Oh, sign me up.
Debbie?
Yes.
Just a little bit more about this Sight and Sound. Because Tom and I went and saw Esther in March down in Branson. Branson's about 5 hours from us.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, you didn't know you were that close to me, did you?
No. I thought about
you. But the way I understand it, the one in Lancaster is where they start, and then they come to Branson. So if David's going to be up there next year, then I don't know, probably, because I think, do they do 2 years at each place? I don't know. Maybe it's a year, maybe a year each place. Then it will come to Branson after that. Now, there are a lot more that you can get on DVD from all the past ones. Like there's even Ruth.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So there's a bunch more that are the past ones. I don't know if they'll bring them back to the theater or not. But there are a bunch from past years. And how much did they say? This theater that they have there for Esther is the biggest one they've ever done up to date.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how many times it was, but it was awesome, that set. And with that, I'll go back to mute.
Well, thanks, Ruth. I appreciate that. The girl that I was traveling with, we wanted to kind of jump on this, and so we went in to see the information online for what was going to be in Branson next year, and Lancaster, PA. And we realized that it's more expensive to go see the shows in Branson than it is in Lancaster, PA. In Lancaster, PA, the tickets for Daniel, I think Sally and I agreed, it's only $54. Whereas if you go to Branson, it's over $100 for one ticket. So, and that's where we kind of found that Esther was going to be in Branson all next year in the show in Lancaster. So, yeah, I thought about getting the DVDs for all of those, but yeah, I don't think I would get the full effect of what I would be seeing on the
Right.
size TV I have. I would have to go over to my daughter and son-in-law. She bought him a new TV, and it's 70 some inches, close to 80 inches. They
Wow.
have it on the wall, and you have to sit way back in order to see it. But I'm thinking, oh, that would be the best TV screen to look at it.
And
So
Debbie, you're really right. You're really right on that. Like we had the DVDs because my dad bought them several years ago, and they aren't as good. Being in the atmosphere makes a huge difference. But I don't know if they'll ever bring those old ones back.
oh,
And I think what they do is they move the set from Lancaster down to Branson. Can you imagine moving that set of Esther from one to the other?
No, thank you.
So anyway, I'll let you move on.
Okay. Well, so the next day after we finished with Sight and Sound, we went to God and Country Theater, where we saw Neil Diamond tribute. And this show was actually it was good. It was cute. And this guy here is, I mean, he played Neil Diamond very well. And here's a picture of all of the cast and that. And it was I don't know. It's not only the songs, but he interacted with this guy, and this guy, every once in a while, he would be, saying something funny or cute, and he would actually turn his mic so he would stop talking. And they have all a great history of bands and groups that they have played with. This one here, and the one thing I will say is every show we saw, except Esther, of course, all at the end had a tribute to all the veterans in the audience. And of course, Neil Diamond has a very prominent patriotic song, which they played and showed different pictures. And I was really glad that we had a chance to see them because they were really good. And next we went to, this day we were supposed to go shopping all day after the Neil Diamond show. Well, it was the day of downpours. It rained terribly. So we went to this place called Lambert's Cafe. And when you go in, it's huge. But the thing that this place is noted for is, as you can see, the little guys on each side of the name, they're throwing their biscuits. And that's what they do in this restaurant.
They're called the Throwed Roll Restaurant.
I'm sorry?
It's called the Throwed Roll Restaurant.
Okay, I missed that part. Throwed Roll. Okay. Yep. Well, it was quite fun and quite cute. And if you missed, oh well, they threw another one at you. The only home of, oh, there it is, Throwed Rolls. There you go. And so anyways, we finished there. And that night we went to the Presley Country Jubilee, excuse me. where we had a show of the Presley family, and as you can see, they're just beautiful singers. I can't put a word to it. Oh no, by the way, we always had great teams, always. And during the show, they had this gentleman, which was actually part of the family. I forgot his name, Sally. Do you remember?
No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, me neither. But he was the one that would come in and just um, throw the humor into the show, keep you laughing. And what we found out at the end, when he took off all of his costume there, he is actually part of the family, and he was very good looking. I mean, really very different. And again, this gentleman, I forgot who, I'm sorry, but there was so much that we saw and you can't remember it all. But anyways,
It's a Presley family. It is like they're related
yes,
to Elvis Presley.
they're
So
correct. Thank you for that. The one thing I'm going to say is that like I said, we had great seats. And at this show, we were situated next to the ramp that was for the exit door. So we all went out there in less than 5 minutes, not even. And like, remember, I said it had been raining all day. Well, the sky opened up. It poured. The wind picked up, and all these people, we were watching them run to their buses.
yes, because that all happened after we got on our bus.
It was awful. I mean, I said to April, I said, oh my gosh, it's raining. Look at that. And in the wind, it was terrible. But I was really glad we got on where we were sitting, enabled us to get out of the building.
Yeah, that was very fortuitous.
Very. Let's see. The next morning, this is Friday, we went to the Gabriel family Christmas. And this was at, let me see, what was that? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we went to the Branson Famous Theater, and this
Yes.
was the Doug Gabriel show. And again, family, and it was good. It was very good. I've
I thought
never
it was
heard them
very good.
before. I'm sorry?
I thought it was very good.
Yes, it was. And this guy here, trust me, when he came on the bus afterwards, his hair takes a lot of moves to get it to do that, because when he came on the bus, it was actually flattened back down. But anyways, this is Doug, and I really do apologize for the blurriness of these pictures, but you know, it is what it is. This is Doug talking to his son, who plays a goofball. What else? What other word could you do?
He's
Hey,
the comic
Sally.
relief.
What?
He's the comic relief.
Very good. I'll have to remember that. But as you can see, his hair is standing on end, and he had this constant thing where he could constantly bow his head, and it, you know, kind of nerve-wracking, but it was still funny. It was still funny. And this is where he said he was contacted by KISS because they wanted him to become a spokesman. So actually this right here is a Hershey's Kiss made out of his hair. And again, let's see, this is, so comic relief, Doug and his son, who is now playing a puppet, brings this gentleman out of the audience, and they just do an awesome performance of him being a puppet, ventriloquist. And I can't even describe the part of the performance that they did here was, and these are not his legs. I mean, because during this episode, he flops those legs over, you know, and crosses them, but it's hilarious. And this is the family singing the last Christmas song, doing the Patriot. And then here is Doug came on the bus to thank us for coming to the show. And then again, here's the comic guy. And as you can tell, his hair is not pointy. He actually turned around and showed us that it was lying down flat. But, and then we finished up the day with going to Branson Landing, where it's another like strip mall full of all these quaint little stores. This here is Paula Dean's restaurant where you could go in, and it was a restaurant to eat, but it was also a great gift shop. I believe, Sally, you got a really nice gift from the gift shop there, didn't you?
But it's not a strip mall. It's
Okay.
there's one of those across the street.
Oh,
But
go ahead.
so strip mall is just a row of shops. So this is not a strip mall. It's more like kind of like Easton.
Yes, because I'm reading on my paper here, which it's a boardwalk at Town Square.
Right.
And it features many retailers, restaurants. And the thing, I only saw one short display of it, was the dancing waters that they have. I saw it for just a moment, but what was the unique gift you got there at her gift shop?
I can't talk about it.
You can't say that. Okay, never mind. Well, anyways, to end the day for me, we went to Mellow Mushroom, and I think we have one of these up in New Albany area, but it's more of a restaurant, where this place just serves pizza. And many of us went here. They had great pizzas, they're whole pizzas. And in fact, I was able to get a gluten-free pizza that just was fabulous. So anyways, I'm going to end it there. That
was our last after this, because the hours ran on these tours. We'd leave at 9 o'clock, after breakfast, get to the theater. The show lasted a couple hours. So we were out at about noon, and then we'd do the shopping and lunch.
Right.
And then we actually had a little bit of free time to go back to the hotel. And that was the nice thing about this trip. I think you might agree. We're very close in.
Yes.
To everything. We didn't have to drive far.
Yeah,
really to get any place. So, but this was our last day. We were heading back today. So we had the show, and then we spent a couple hours at the Branson Landing.
Right.
And then we left and stopped in St. Louis.
Coming home.
Yeah. Coming home.
Right. Did we do anything there besides sleep?
Sleep. Just sleep.
And I will agree, the scheduling of the activities that we did during these days did enable us to go back to the hotel and just kind of regroup ourselves before we went to dinner and then the show.
Yeah.
I know myself, I took a nap every day.
Yeah. So we typically didn't get back from the shows until 10:30 or later.
Yeah, that's very true.
And
And
then we were up at, had to be on the bus at 9 o'clock because I told everybody they had to be back on the bus.
and you are our fearless leader. You just did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And these shows were great. And those of you that will be watching this on the replay, I said in the beginning, uh, you deserve a break, whether it's the spring, the summer, the fall, or Christmas. We all deserve time to ourselves to just do what we want to do. And that's the trips that Sally provides offer this. Through Diamond Tours, we were actually from Olivedale in Lancaster. And Sally, what are the names of the some other trips that you or companies that you use?
Well, for motor coach trips, this Diamond Tour is about the only one I used, but I use Colette Tours, Globus, Trafalgar, Holland, America, Norwegian Cruise Line. So I do a lot of different types of trips.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of international trips coming up next year.
Oh, that'll be good. And the other thing that people should understand is you help those that have disabilities. And that, to me, that is a very a quality that you don't see in a lot of people or a lot of companies. It's just, this is the trip, the way it is, you know. And I've been on many different excursions with you where you provide so much courtesy for those. Even this bus trip, we had two ladies that they sit in the front seat, and they had one of them had a walker, and the walker was the driver was able to put the walker underneath, and he would get out and he would get it out from underneath so that she could use it wherever we were going. And so I appreciate that. And like I said, and Sally said, we had a little bit of time to go back to the hotel, and you can do with that hour and a half or whatever you wish. But I myself will admit I took a nap every day. But you don't realize how, half an hour nap, what that does to revive you for the night activity. So, and I'm not one to be bashful about, saying I took a nap, So, um, so Ruth, did you have any questions before I stop sharing? She's still with us?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I have been to Lambert's too. It's an interesting place to eat.
Yes. And you get a lot of food.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They bring in a lot of sides too.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
So, but yeah, thank you for sharing your trip.
You're welcome. You were talking about food. The last place we went for a buffet was actually, it reminded me of Ogilvy, and it was a country club where it was a community, and it was golfing and everything else. And we went into the clubhouse, and they had a buffet for us that was so good, and of course you could go back for seconds, but it was in a very comfortable atmosphere. Again, many other buses there, but it wasn't big. We were spaced out enough where,
Yeah, that was very nice.
Yeah, it was. So, I mean, if you don't get enough food, that's your fault. You know?
Oh, I also want to say, Debbie, I think I've eaten at a mellow mushroom,
Yeah.
and I think it was in Ohio.
Yeah, thank you. I agree. I think it's in like New Albany area, and I've been there, and I thought, oh, but this one just seemed to feature pizzas. I didn't
Well,
see,
I think I had pizza up there,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
but yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
I'm going to have to jump off.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
me too.
I'm gonna stop sharing, and because I wanted to say goodbye. Merry
Bye.
Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas and Happy New Year.
I'm sorry.
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Debbie, you might want to include Sally's contact information on your show notes.
Okay, good idea.
Thank you.
Good idea. Thank you very much for that suggestion, Ruth.
Thank
I
you, Ruth.
appreciate it. Well, thank you all. I know this is kind of lengthy, but we had a good chat before. So please, everyone that will be watching this recording, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you in January. And thank you for attending. And I will include information so that you can get in touch with Sally. Thank you. I will close off and end today. Thanks, ladies.